This is a real-life account of something that happened to me a few years back while I was trucking through the highways of Los Angeles. Now, Louisiana highways can be a real beast, you know? All them cars zooming past, people in a hurry, and the sun beating down on you like it's got a grudge. But that day, something was off. It was late in the evening, the sky turning a deep orange, when I spotted a woman hitchhiking by the side of the road. She was a looker, I'll give her that. Long flowing hair, and a figure that could make a grown man weak in the knees. Now, normally I ain't one to pick up hitchhikers, but there was something about her that caught my eye. Maybe it was the way she held herself, like she had a secret she was itching to share. I pulled over, rolling down the window. "Need a ride, darlin'?" I called out, putting on my best friendly trucker face. She nodded, flashing a smile that could have melted the polar ice caps. I motioned her to hop in, and that's when things started getting strange. As she settled into the passenger seat, I couldn't help but notice her hands. They were trembling like a leaf caught in a storm. I asked if she was okay, but she just shrugged it off, saying she was tired from walking all day. Now, I've seen my fair share of weary travelers, but this was something else. We started chatting as we drove along, but there was something eerie about the way she spoke. Her voice was soft, almost melodic, but there was a tinge of sadness in every word. She told me she was heading to the other side of town to meet a friend, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was running from something dangerous. As we continued down the highway, the tension in the air grew thicker. I noticed a dark sedan tailing us, keeping its distance. I asked her if she knew the car, but she just shook her head, her eyes darting nervously from the rearview mirror to the road ahead. That's when I made a decision, something that would change the course of this twisted tale. I veered off the main highway, taking a risky turn into a deserted industrial area. The sedan followed suit, and my heart raced with adrenaline. As we sped through the narrow streets, I caught sight of a small warehouse up ahead. I swerved into the alley behind it, praying it would be our salvation. I parked the truck, killing the engine, and turned to the woman beside me. "Listen carefully," I whispered, my voice barely a breath. "When I say now, you run into that warehouse and hide. Don't make a sound. I'll handle the rest." She nodded, her eyes filled with fear and trust. And that's when it all went down. The sedan screeched to a halt behind us, and the door swung open. Out stepped a man, his face twisted with malice. He approached the truck, a wicked grin on his lips. But just as he reached for the door handle, I yelled, "Now!" The woman bolted from the truck, disappearing into the darkness of the warehouse. The man's eyes widened in surprise, but before he could react, I lunged at him, catching him off guard. Blow after blow, I fought to protect her, unleashing every ounce of rage and determination I had. Finally, I managed to overpower him, leaving him lying on the ground, defeated and broken. I rushed into the warehouse, finding the woman hiding behind some crates. We shared a brief moment of relief and gratitude, but there was still a mystery lingering in the air. She looked at me, her eyes full of curiosity. "Why did you help me? How did you know?" I smiled, knowing the twist I was about to reveal. "Well, darling, it's 'cause I ain't just a trucker. I'm an undercover cop tracking down a serial killer who preys on hitchhikers, and you, my dear, fit his victim profile." Her eyes widened in shock as the pieces fell into place. The trembling hands, the mysterious sedan, it was all a setup, a trap laid out for her. But little did the killer know he had met his match that day, and I was determined to bring him down. It was a dark and stormy night, rain pouring down like the heavens were crying. I was hauling a load of goods, minding my own business, when I noticed a bus up ahead. Now that ain't too strange, you know, but this bus, it was moving fast. Way too fast. I glanced at my rearview mirror and my blood ran cold. The same bus was tailing me, getting closer with every second. Now I'm used to seeing all sorts of vehicles on the road, but there was something off about this one. Something downright eerie. As the bus overtook me, I couldn't help but notice the passengers staring out the windows, their eyes locked on me. It sent shivers down my spine, like they were searching for something, or someone. But before I could make sense of it all, the bus disappeared into the night. I shook off the uneasy feeling, chugging along the lonely highway. But then, like a nightmare on repeat, I saw the bus in my rearview mirror again. It overtook me once more, the passengers still gazing at me with those hollow eyes. The whole scene felt like a twisted game, a macabre dance between life and death. I picked up my speed, trying to put some distance between us, but that bus, oh, it had other plans. It came racing by, its tires screeching against the wet asphalt. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched it vanish into the darkness once more. This was no ordinary bus. That much was clear. It was playing with me, taunting me like a predator with its prey. As the miles passed, the bus reappeared, over and over again. Each time it overtook me, the passengers' faces grew more twisted, more sinister. I couldn't escape their gaze, their presence weighing heavy on my soul. It was like they were trying to communicate something, but the message remained shrouded in mystery. Fear gnawed at me, eating away at my resolve. I had to find answers. I had to put an end to this twisted game. So I made a decision. I decided to chase that damn bus. I pushed my truck to its limits, the rain pouring down in torrents. The road turned into a blur as I raced after the bus, fueled by equal parts desperation and curiosity. I had to uncover the truth behind its haunting presence. But just when I thought I had it cornered, the bus vanished into thin air. It was as if it had never existed in the first place. I slammed on the brakes, my heart racing in my chest, trying to catch my breath. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just any ordinary bus. No, it was a ghostly apparition, a phantom from another realm. Those passengers, they were souls trapped in limbo, forever haunting the roads they once traveled. I stepped out of my truck, the rain washing away the remnants of my fear. The highway stretched out before me, empty and somber. I knew then that I had witnessed something beyond explanation, something that defied the laws of this world. So the next time you find yourself on a desolate highway, watch out for that bus. Don't let it overtake you, because once it does, you'll be forever caught in its twisted game. And trust me, friend, that's a fate you don't want to face. I'll never forget that night on the road. It was late, and the moon hid behind a thick layer of clouds, casting an eerie glow on the desolate highway. My rig rumbled beneath me, its headlights cutting through the darkness like a knife through butter. The radio crackled softly, playing some forgotten tune from years ago. As I drove, my thoughts drifted to the next motel where I planned to park for the night. The road had been my home for months, and these motels were my only refuge from the long, endless stretches of asphalt. Little did I know that this particular motel would become the backdrop for a nightmarish encounter. The sign loomed ahead, a flickering neon beacon in the night. Lone Pine Motel, it read, its letters almost mocking my solitude. I parked my rig and stepped out, the cold air sending a shiver down my spine. I walked into the motel office, a small, dimly lit room with a dingy carpet and a bored-looking clerk behind the counter. "Room for one, please," I said, forcing a smile. The clerk handed me the key, a worn-out piece of metal that jingled in my hand. I made my way to the room, passing by a row of empty parking spaces. The motel seemed deserted, as if it had been abandoned long ago. Unlocking the door, I stepped into a musty room that smelled of stale cigarettes and dampness. The flickering light bulb in the bathroom created a disconcerting ambiance, casting strange shadows on the walls. I decided to freshen up before turning in for the night. Entering the bathroom, I noticed a faint scent of disinfectant mixed with something far more sinister. My eyes were drawn to the cracked mirror reflecting my tired face. Suddenly, a chilling whisper reached my ears, barely audible above the buzzing of the flickering light. "You're not alone." My heart skipped a beat as a shiver crawled up my spine. I peered around the bathroom, searching for the source of the voice. The silence enveloped me, broken only by the distant hum of a passing truck. I dismissed it as my imagination playing tricks on me, and continued to splash water on my face. That's when I saw it, a small, hastily written note tucked behind the faucet. Its words sent a chill down my spine. "Check the drain." Curiosity mingled with dread as I knelt down, peering into the depths of the sink. Slowly, I unscrewed the drain cap, and to my horror, I discovered a hidden compartment beneath it. Inside, I found a collection of photographs, each depicting a different victim. Lifeless eyes staring back at me, their faces frozen in eternal anguish. The world around me spun as I stumbled backward, dropping the photographs in shock. The truth hit me like a freight train. This motel, this room, it had been a hunting ground for a deranged killer. And now I was trapped in his twisted game.